Very strange. All of a sudden, a bunch of people have started driving down this particular part of the road in a massive forest with miles. There's miles and fucking miles and miles of area to go in. But no, people want to drive down this little tiny dirt road that my dog and I are camping down. I mean, we've been here for 5 days. Nobody's driven down this road till today. Totally normal shit, of course. I don't think people even, they don't even see or understand how strange they act from my perspective. It's very weird. Like, you know, it's hard to imagine that people are that oblivious, but they are. Very odd indeed. Whatever. So I'm watching this news footage about the Iranian president and his helicopter crashing. Now, mind you, I don't watch the news, like, ever. I don't pay any attention to it. I don't really have any. I have no affiliations with any political group at all. Like, at all. Not at all. I have no affiliations with any group at all. In fact, not even Christians. Although I am a Christian woman. I wouldn't even align myself with them. No, I'm aligned with God. That's it. That's it. And I'm of sound mind and body. And I'm watching this. It popped up on my YouTube feed. And you know, I read some of the comments. First of all, I think that helicopter was damaged somehow intentionally, so it would happen, like the crash would happen. It was intentional. And he was taken from the crash site. How do I know this? Good question. I mean, I could explain it, but it would sound ridiculous. No, I don't know that it would, actually. Anyhow, it's not an opinion. It's just, that's the vision that I got. I'm not going to get into going, like, remote viewing that site because no one's asked me to do it, frankly. And, it's a lot of work, a lot of energy to do that. Okay, so back out of there. All right. And then there were a lot of tunnels found underneath. Is that Jerusalem? Is that the city they found them under? Anyhow, all of this is very orchestrated. I was reading the comments under one of the pictures that I clicked on from, like, the news footage. And, I'm reading people's comments, and it's orchestrated to play on people's cynicism, on their apathy, on their anger. Of course, I mean, this is what politics is all about, and not just domestic politics. I mean, global, like, geopolitics shit. It's all meant to break the hearts of people, and then when they don't heal from their heartbreak, they become very cynical and jaded, and it's very difficult to heal from that. You really need to, like, take a full time out from everything and everyone in order to heal from that. And, you know, they're counting on and I'm talking about the orchestrators, the conductors of this clusterfuck that we see our world in right now. That's who they is. And you know, it's all a play on our emotions more than anything else. Because, I mean, I admit it's very difficult to watch anybody be hurt in any way, even talked badly to. It's difficult to even hear, let alone you know, actually witness it firsthand. It's very difficult. People disassociate, especially people who have been traumatized. This is all meant to play on our trauma. I know that people know this, and I'm not saying that anybody's stupid. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is take a step back. You know, like when your kid does something and, or, you know, or somebody you love does something and it just, you know, and you're ready to explode, you count to fucking 10. Just do it. Just do it. Count to 10. It will serve you in every area of your life. Before you make choices, before you fly off the handle, before you say something you don't fucking mean, before you make some dumbass comment on YouTube revealing what a cynical jerk off you really are, count to 10. You know, I mean, I've had to do that a number of times today with people driving past our camp and, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, it is one thing to stand up for yourself. I do believe in defending oneself, obviously. That's, you know, that goes without saying. And defending oneself, although it's never justified, it is, ethical. So, you know, it's walking a fine line there, but at the same time, you know, when you have to defend yourself, you have to defend yourself. I don't know what else to say. But even those situations can be orchestrated so that, I mean, this is like a symphony. This is like a well-played symphony, and everybody in the world, everybody's opinion, everybody's heartstrings, or lack thereof, are being pulled, you know, and I don't say that lightly. You know, I know full well what it feels like to be numb. Completely fucking numb. Like 100% completely numb. Don't give a shit about really anything, really, even myself. So I know. And I'm not saying it's anyone's fault necessarily, but we do have to be accountable for our actions, for what we say. And, you know, this is all, like I said, it's all a very well-crafted symphony of suffering and horribleness. And, you know, as things get worse in the world, people's cynicism especially is played upon. People making jokes, like jesting about things that are just they're not funny. You know, and I have a really dark sense of humor, so I mean, I get it. But at the same time, I will not engage in humor like that, because it's cynical and it's numbing. It's like a lidocaine on the soul, and I just won't engage in it because it's not funny. It's just not funny. I don't need to be horribly serious about everything. I mean, I have a great sense of humor, but at the same time, I'm not going to joke about things that are just not funny. And we must guard ourselves against cynicism. It is one of the ways that doubt creeps into our minds, creeps into our hearts, and before we know it, we're covered in the sticky, ooey, gooey tar that is doubt of everything. We begin to doubt our own relationships. We could begin to doubt fucking everything. My car is clicking. So, and doubt, my friends, is one of the most difficult things to rid yourself of. I know, not just self-doubt, but just doubt of the world in general, doubt of your neighbors, doubt of, you know, anyone having your best interests in mind, and just doubt in general, just doubt of every fucking thing. And it's really important right now that we get in touch with our emotions, but not the toxic part of our emotions. And if all you have is toxic emotions, because I see a lot of people that have that, then you know what? Quarantine yourself. Quarantine your fucking self. Don't watch the news. Don't watch anything, you know, that's going to, excuse me, that's going to, you know, just unplug from media altogether. I mean, I don't know. I remember the last time I watched television, like program television. Not at all. I mean, it's been decades, literally. No commercials, none of that, because all of that, I feel like it feeds on my, you know, on my numbness, my shutdown mechanism, my, you know, my, I used to make a joke. I don't ever make it anymore. You know, I'm very unbothered, and at the same time, I'm not apathetic at all. But I used to make a joke about, like, you know, take your fuck it all, and, you know, like, fuck it all, kind of. And it's not, I mean, it served its purpose for me for the time that I needed it. And when it didn't serve its purpose anymore, I threw out the whole bottle and got rid of the prescription. Just got rid of it. And it's really important that we get back in touch with our emotions. You know, the wholesome, good emotions that most of us are missing out on, like, you know, joy and hope and love, and, you know, humor that's from a place in our heart that we are really laughing, you know, like it's really joyful, not this, you know, oh, that's funny, you know. Somebody made one comment, you know, about, it was obviously a racial slur. And rather than sit there and, you know, try to engage these people in any kind of, you know, one-liner comment or even a paragraph, there's not really much I could say to get through to them. But we must guard our hearts, because by guarding your heart, you guard your mind. Your heart is what helps your mind detox from the nastiness that is out in the world. And I am no stranger to nasty shit. At the same time, I won't engage in it. This is so obviously very well orchestrated plan. Meant to really like break us mentally, emotionally. And when our hearts are not online and our minds are already half full of crap, it becomes very difficult to guard yourself against these attacks that are going on. And mind you, a lot of this is witchcraft. And I know that a lot of people would be like, oh, witchcraft. You know what? Anytime that you say something against someone that's unkind, that's unforgiving. I mean, I've done it myself. And when you're telling the truth, I mean, I've told the truth about a lot of people on this channel, and yet it wasn't forgiving. I mean, it was still the truth, and that was how I was feeling at the moment, but it's not a forgiving way to talk about them. So, you know, and I ask forgiveness for those things. But anytime we speak against something, or we make light of something that is not funny at all, that's spell work. Like, we have spelling bees, where we spell words with letters. Those are spells. I don't know, like, it took a long time for that to get through my head. A long time. And when we curse people and we say, oh, that person's a fucking this or that, that's a curse. We're cursing that person. It's much different when we say, you know, that person did this and, you know, that was a really fucked up thing to do. I know that it's difficult. I found myself in the same trap so many times. And it's easy to fall back into it and say, oh, well, this is that. I even caught myself doing it today. Some people drove past our camp, and they were so close to my car. And there's miles, I mean miles and miles in every direction. You know? And upset my dog, and it's just a weird thing to do. It's just weird. And, you know, I mean, it's all public land, but, like, what are you doing? Anyway. And I said, God, those people are stupid. And I said, you know what? They're not stupid. They did something really stupid, but they're not stupid. I'm sure they're just, like, driving around enjoying their day, not even thinking about anyone else. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. And yet, I still felt like what they did was stupid, but they're not stupid. We have to guard our words. We have to be more careful, because our inner language, our inner narrative is what we produce out in the world. And once you start paying attention to your inner narrative, you'll start realizing how toxic or not your life is due to your inner narrative. It's very important. Our words have creative power to them. You know, this is why bad things are called good things. Like when when your friend, you know, plays a really great song for you, and you're like, oh, that's the shit. Well, there's nothing good about shit unless it's coming out of you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, or that's wicked, or, you know, like different. I mean, there's different, so many different, you know, idioms for it, that we don't really think about. And you'd say like, oh, you know, that's no big deal. Really? Really? Okay. When you have children of your own, you come and tell me that. You know, like, it's a big deal. What we say and how we say it and what we mean behind the words makes a big difference. So I know that I'm imprinting this on my mind and my heart. I'm not raising my voice in judgment against anyone. It's every bit in judgment of myself as it is of, you know, the words of other people, not the people, but the words that they use and how they use them. I mean, whole headlines can change the narrative of an entire story with just one word. Advertisers know this. People who are television, you know, programmers and network specialists, they know this. This is why, you know, advertisements and TV programming is so precise. It's so precise. It's more precise than we ever really allow ourselves to admit that it is, because it's hard to start seeing that our whole world is orchestrated and not for the better and not for our best interests. So anyhow, when we're sending thoughts and emotions to a situation, we must be very careful, and we must take what we say seriously. I mean, even saying things in jest, even if it's true, I know it's hard. I know it's a strange thing. You feel like, oh, well, now I have to watch every fucking word I say. Well, if you want a better world, yes. If you don't, continue to run your brain and your mouth like you've been doing and see how's that working out for you? Probably not very well. It didn't work well for me. That's how I know. So, that and watching everybody else. The power of life and death is in the tongue. We must be careful. We must be careful about what we say. Anyhow, I hope that you're all having a blessed day. And literally, the definition of being blessed is being close to God, is having God's presence in your life. That's what blessed is. Anyhow, love, blessings, and compassion to everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Peace be with you.